Well, or that was the foxhole one.
That was the foxhole one.
All right, hello to everybody out there. Good afternoon. This is Amateur Radio Roundtable. I'm Tom Medlin, W5KUB, and we are at June the 8th. Man, can't believe it. Months go by so fast. Had a pretty good net tonight. All the band conditions weren't really good, but we had a number of people check in. We have a 40-meter net every Tuesday at 5:30, so please join us. If you hadn't joined our Facebook group, please join our Facebook group. It's just called W5KUB. That'll get you in there. The actual name of the group is Amateur Radio Roundtable, but that's too long to type, so just put W5KUB, and you can join 12,000 other hams that are already in that group. If you haven't done it yet, I would like for you to click the subscribe button. So on YouTube there, please click the subscribe button. That helps our show's ratings, and it helps us to get our video out to more people, and it will bring more people in during the show. We get about 25% of the people that come into the show every Tuesday night come in because they were looking at YouTube and something similar, and YouTube recommended our show for them, and they clicked on it and they came over. So please hit the subscribe button there, and hit the like button if you like the show. Let's see. We're going to have a good show for you tonight. We've got a lot of things going on here. And hey, tonight we got the results of the tree as an antenna. We're going to talk a little about that. And I've got some video on that and some pictures that we made. Joe's with us. He's going to talk about some kits. Alan's here. He found some new I don't know what you call it, some new treasures, I think, at a ham fest, and he'll show us tonight what he found. A bunch of stuff. We got Bill with us tonight. We got Glenn with us tonight. We're gonna have a good time. As you may know, we've changed the format of the show a little bit. We try to end the show by about 9:15. Some people were complaining that our show was too long. I don't know why, but they complained it was too long. So we're kind of cutting it off about 9:15. But then it don't go away because the show does continue. Part 2 continues. We call it The Gathering. It's the show after the show. And we will give you a Zoom link where you can join us on Zoom. Maybe we'll have 25, 30, 50 people on Zoom here, and you will be on the show, by the way. So we'll put that link, that Zoom link, in the chat room a little later, and we hope you join us there. Let's see. I think it's if you're out there listening, you know our show is also rebroadcast on international shortwave station WBCQ on 7490 kilohertz. So we're on every Thursday between 4 and 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and that is an audio repeat of the show we're having tonight. If you found us on shortwave, you can join us on Tuesday nights just by going to youtube.com/W5KUB. But if you're out there listening tonight, send us an email. Let us know where in the world you are. I'd love to hear from you. That email address would be tom@w5kub.com. Let's jump around the room real quick. Let's see who's in here. Wake them all up. So it looks like a couple of them might be sleeping. So Let's look them all. Looks like Alan's here first. Hey, Alan, how you doing? Yep, caught you.
Hey, yeah,
Caught
I'm here. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you all. And should have an interesting show tonight. And boy, a hot one here in New Jersey today. Had the 90s in the 90s in temperature and 90s in humidity, and then had the typical East Coast thunderstorms roll through and sent my dog a running. But anyway, we're doing okay now. And yeah, I thought if we've got some time, I'd talk about a treasure that I picked up at the Hamfest this weekend, and what I did to refurbish it and bring it back to life, and why you guys should have one in your shack as well.
All right, looking forward to it. All right, who's next in the lineup out there? Let's see. Let's go to Glenn. Hey, Glenn.
He went to a ham fest
I knew.
without me?
I knew.
I did.
Can't read
That's
your
not
shirt.
fair.
I can't read your shirt. I knew something was wrong. I knew.
But I did it anyway.
I knew it was wrong.
I did it on purpose.
Oh, I did it on purpose. Okay, man. All right. Very good. Well, hey, I don't know what the temperature is in Mississippi. It's been hot up here.
It was hot, and the air conditioning was out in the office all of last week, and they just got it fixed this afternoon.
Well,
So
I don't know about that. Hey, it's going to be, I think Friday, it's going to be 101 here. Yeah. I hope your air
No.
conditioner works there, man. Hope
No,
it-
mine's working, but not in the office. They finally fixed it. But
Well,
you
you'd
know,
think
getting
somebody
your
like a big
packages out
company
is more
like that
important.
would be able to get it fixed, but yeah.
Well, you know, the priorities are, they got to get the packages out first. They don't care if the IT people die or not. So,
Yeah. I got you. All right, let's see. All right, I don't. Katie, are you there, Katie?
We're here.
There they are. There's Katie and Dwayne there. Okay, hey guys.
Hey, guys.
Man,
Hi.
good to
We're-
see you.
Yeah, good to be here. We had to go fetch WI7 MOM from the airport and got home and were eating a quick bite, and all of a sudden I said, "Oh my God, it's Tuesday."
I was
We
gonna
ran down the
say you were almost late tonight, and I was
I know.
gonna put a check mark by your name, but you came in just. It's okay. You by
Let you
this.
under the wire.
And Alan
milliseconds
doesn't.
to spare.
Yeah, exactly.
And Alan doesn't have the market cornered on high temperatures. It was 100 here today.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
3 digits.
Yeah, that's
2 weeks ago, it was 37.
Yeah. It's
That's a
crazy.
dry heat, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but tell
It's
the
still
turkey,
100 degrees.
tell the turkey in the oven it's a dry heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Very good. Good to see you, Dwayne and Katie, and thanks for being here with us tonight. Let's see. Here's somebody who hadn't been with us a while. He's been hiding. Joe, come on in, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Well, hi there, Tom. Yeah, I've been in and out and all sorts of things and building lots of kits. And I have to give Katie and Dwayne a hard time. I looked at my worked all states list for 6 meters, and one of the ones I am missing is Wyoming. So we're going to have to make a skid sometime. I'll bet even when the band isn't up much between your antennas and mine, maybe we can get something on FT8. So we'll have to see.
Now
Oh man, that's cheating.
FT8 or MSK 144 would work for us pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can try it either way. And so
Not
we'll
right
figure
now.
it
It's
out.
thundering like
right
crazy.
now, and I need to tell Tom this. Our wireless or our internet is provided to us wirelessly, and we're in the midst of a big thunderstorm. So if we disappear,
That's fine.
that's why.
Okay. All right. I'll note that as an excuse.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'll note that as an excuse there. All right. Well, Joe, hey, man, we're looking forward to some new kits tonight, and even
All right.
non-kits. Okay. All right. Hey, Katie, Dwayne, great. Let's see. Do we have anybody else?
Bill.
Is this everybody?
We got Bill.
Oh, Bill.
You left
Bill's
out
here.
Bill.
Hey, Bill is so quiet. He's kind of in the dark, and he's quiet all the time, man. Hey, Bill.
How you doing, all? We had a thunderstorm here, cooled things down a little bit, but I've been up in Ohio for 2 weeks where it was nice and cool, and I came back to a sauna bath, so it's a little different. But I'm back in Alabama. So Not a whole lot going on. We're just dusting off some ham radio equipment and getting the shack ready to operate again.
Now, your dad was a ham, right? I mean, he is a ham.
Yeah, he's WB8 Mike Sierra Juliet.
Right.
He was a radio man in World War II in the Navy and could copy Morse code at some ridiculous speed, like 30 words a minute. So when we went to get our general class license in Detroit, I think I told you this story a while back, they failed him, even though he had perfect copy, because he doesn't cross the top of his J's. So he does a J, but it looks like a J, but he doesn't put a cross over the top. And so the examiner said, you didn't get your J's and U's, you got them all mixed up. I said, no, I got it perfect copy as a radio man in World War II. And he wouldn't pass him. So when he went back a month later, the same guy was there. Every J he copied, he put a big long dash over the top of it, and they finally passed him.
I would have protested that. I would have.
But that's why his call, I'm WB80LK, he took his about 2 months later, and it was WB8MSJ. So otherwise, we've been right next to each other.
So your dad's getting up there in age. Is he still active in ham radio, or kind of?
Not so much. He was some time ago, but he'll be 96 in July.
Yeah.
And I was going through the barn where we have all my massive collection of every issue of 73 magazine. When I was editor there, and through the years, I've collected every issue of 73 since the beginning. Even the rare #1 issue, I have a copy of it. And they're all stored in that barn. And unfortunately, raccoons got into it and they were trying to get out. My dad built a storage unit in the barn for all my ham radio stuff from past years. And he invented instead the perfect raccoon trap. So they really made a mess. So I spent 2 weeks up there digging through the barn and going through old photographs. But I did recover quite a few back issues of 73.
Well, all right.
But most of them are now scanned into, they're mostly all scanned in online. But how many of you heard of Radio Fun magazine?
Radio who?
Radio Fun.
Fun? No.
Yeah. That was a Wayne Green publication. I was working as chief editor of 73 magazine when I first started there, and after the first year, he decided that a full-time job was not enough, so he made me come up with a newsletter for beginning hams, and it was done like a tabloid. It was a newspaper print, and he'd send that out to new hams and try to get another magazine going, and we did that for several years. So I haven't seen too many of those scanned online, but I have seen a few, and I just grabbed a few from the storage unit and going to try and scan some more in.
Well, you know,
we put together some pretty good articles in there.
I thought that maybe for new people coming in the hobby, that might be good to reissue that, but they're probably not interested in Spark Gap. Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. Okay, man. All right.
Not that old.
Hey, let's jump right into it here. We got we got some exciting things to talk about tonight, and the show formats. You know, we got the after the show coming up. It's going to be fun. And let me just tell everybody just real quick. Typically, if you'll send me an email, I will send you a link to the Zoom after the show. We did put it in the chat room last week, and we'll do it again this week, I think. We'll issue that link in the chat room for you to get it to more people out there. But really would like some participation for you guys out there to join us tonight. And if you don't want to talk, just join us anyway and listen. You know. All right. Well, hey, let's move on over and let's see what Joe's got. He's been out for a while, and he was showing me before the show. He got a couple little neat things. I might be interested in a couple of those. So, hey, Joe, why don't you go ahead and pick it up and Let's,
All right, Tom.
yeah, let's see what you got there.
Let's see if we can, I'm going to put up some pictures first, and then I'll hold a few things up to the camera. So we're going to do this, and that should share me out. Okay. So what you're looking at here is some parts that make up a kit that I made a couple of months ago, and I wrote about for May CQ, which actually just came out in the mail a couple of days ago. So if you have your May CQ magazine, you can open it up to my kit building column, and these are some of the pictures and stuff you're going to see in there. What this is it's a noise loop antenna kit. And this is sold by DX Engineering, and I can't remember the 8 call sign that designed it, but it was also the front page of QST, how to make it yourself, and then DX Engineering made a kit for it, and so I built the kit to review it. What a noise loop does is it helps you home in on noise sources, and it works by having an extremely deep null in one direction. It is very unidirectional in the null. The peak is very broad, but the null is very, very narrow. And so this is some of the parts it comes with to put it together. There's some more of the parts. As you can see, it is not a very complicated kit. It's easy even for a first timer, I think, to put together. And these are where the coax feed line comes in and where the wire branches off, and then there's a terminator board and some of the parts. But you do have to wind a binocular toroid, which for a first timer they might need a little help. This is what the toroid looks like. It does make a impedance transformer because this is a loop going to 50 ohm coax. And by the way, this loop antenna works anywhere from the AM broadcast band up to 30 megahertz. Now, obviously, because it has a resistor on the far end as a terminator where the null is, it has negative gain. It does have loss. And so they do sell a preamp kit that will compensate for that if you need any gain. But the neat thing about it is you can go hunting down bad wall warts and power line transformers and things like that, and you can find out where all the noise is coming from. And if you want to use it for DXing the AM broadcast band, you can find the null and see what direction the signal is coming from that you're listening to. This is the terminator end of the antenna. Very simple, just a resistor. And this is the feed line thing with the transformer on it. And this is what the finished antenna looks like. It comes with all the parts, the plastic pole and everything, and a length of coax. It comes all ready for you to assemble. And I'm guessing the average ham would spend maybe an hour or two putting this together. And it worked really, really well. I was able to null out a kilowatt AM broadcast station. I mean, it wasn't gone, but it went from like 20 over 9 to about an S3 or something, using a KX2 as the receiver. And like I said, it's used for finding noise sources, and it's called the noise loop, and you can find that at DX Engineering. Then I decided I was going to build a pocket-sized CW transceiver. This is the QCX Mini. I saw Alan had the big brother to it he was showing earlier. This is the pocket-sized version, and the pocket-sized version has a lot of surface mount parts, and guess what, folks? They are already done for you, but that's the parts all sorted out like most kits. And that is what the main board looks like. And you can see there's lots of ICs and resistors and capacitors that are already mounted on the board. This type of kit has become lots more common. The 4-state QRP Nouveau 75 meter AM transceiver kit is also a hybrid kit that has like 130 some surface mount parts, excuse me, and about 30 some parts that you actually solder. Well, this is the same basic idea. But there are two different circuit boards that you get. This one becomes a frame around the display and holds the display. And the boards that are in the middle include the bandpass filter and some other parts that you need to complete the kit. And you can see by the holes, tiny holes drilled, that they are perforated and designed to be separated. And then you have to use a file to smooth that area down. Otherwise, things don't fit real well. Where the perforation was still has little pieces of circuit board sticking out. So you got to kind of clean that up. But it uses the two circuit boards very, very efficiently. That is the main toroid in it. And between the QCX Mini and the full size, they are identical, the toroids in them. And this one has 3 different sets of windings. And being the 40 meter one, it pretty well fills it up. And so that's the one part you're going to probably spend the most time with. I think I spent a little over an hour putting that toroid together. But if you do it right,
it took me to do mine too.
What?
That's about how long it took me to do mine. I did the 40 meter version of the QCX Plus.
Yeah, so that would be the exact same toroid. In fact, they use the same core, the same everything, and the same layout on the board in the full size as they do the pocket size. And it's a necessity for what this kit is. And if you do it right, everything's going to work good for you. This is what it looks like when you sandwich the 2 boards together and get the display and everything all lined up. As you can see, there's not a lot of clearance in there, so you got to make things really tight down to the bottom of the board. Can't have anything loose, anything like that. This is another view of what it looks like without the display on it. But you can see the buttons and the 2 controls and several of the toroids there, and you can see the finals and stuff with the heatsink bolted on it on the lower left, and the plugs, jacks, and connectors. And when it's all put together, this is what it looks like. And I'll put it in my hand later so you can see what it is in real life for reference. It is a very nice little CW transceiver. You can use a straight key or a key or paddle, and it's fully synthesized and very stable, doesn't draw a lot, doesn't have a battery in it. So of course you're going to be using an external 12-volt power source. Now let's kind of go to a big brother of this, which is put out by somebody else. The first kit, of course, came from QRP Labs. This one comes from WA3RNC. So if you go to wa3rnc.com, you will see this kit for sale. It sells for about $250, and for a little more, he will also pre-wind the 4 toroids for you and strip them out and everything and have them prepared. So if you really, really don't like winding toroids, this next one, you can get the toroids as a kit that's pre-wound with it. Now you notice the parts for this are in strips. And what you do is you start at the top near the label and you work your way down. So I take my scissors and I cut part way into it, and I shake out the parts that come in that one little pouch. And you go step by step in the instructions, and each time you've completed one, then it's going to ask you to get the next set of parts out. And the parts are in these little pouches that are heat sealed in a strip, so that you don't have to sort your parts. When you've installed the part, well, that's a good breaking point, and you don't have to worry about closing them up and sorting them out and things like that, or getting lost. The strip just holds all the parts. So this is the first kit I've ever done that did it this way, and I really, really like it. Really like this method. So like I said, this one here on the right, I'd cut that open, take the IC socket out and mount it, and then the next step, you'd open up that, and there might be several pieces in there, and so forth. This is what it looks like. You can see the upper board is actually there in the case. I was lining it up, and this is the lower board, and the parts that you see already mounted on the lower board and the upper board are already mounted. Once again, we're talking about a hybrid kit where you have surface mount parts that are already done for you. Now this one has some trimmer caps in the lower right on the lower board, and it would be about impossible to adjust those once everything is put together. Well, guess what? He's already done it for you. He uses what they call a pin cushion, and the board is mounted onto that, and there's contacts that come up and touch it underneath, and it hooks it to a circuit that's identical to what it will be in, and they align it right there. So those 4 capacitors do not need to be touched once you've completed your kit. They are pre-aligned and already pre-mounted. This is what the top board looks like before we put the ICs and the pins in that connect it to the lower board. But you can see the display is right there in the middle. It's a real tiny OLED, which is an LED-based screen, and you can get TVs now that are OLED as well. But this is a very neat display that doesn't draw a lot, doesn't have a backlight. Each pixel lights on its own. You can see all the controls and the LEDs and everything on this board. The pouch that had the toroid wires also had a cloth-backed sandpaper. So it's real flexible and makes it real easy to get rid of most of the insulation on the wire. I found using the sandpaper to get most of it off, and then using the hot solder blob method to melt the rest of the insulation off and tin the wire, made for really great toroids. And you'll notice that they twisted a red and green wire together for the transformer. That's one of the toroids. And that particular one, because they already twisted it for you, there's no kind of guessing how tight you have to make the twists and so on for the bifilar toroid. This is what it looks like when everything is all put together onto the board, and you can see the pins are there. You can see the 4 crystals in the right order for the crystal filter. Everything is all ready to put together into the box, except I don't have a picture of the box yet. I'm just finishing up writing about this, and so probably later tonight or tomorrow I'll be taking the final pictures, but you're going to get to see it anyways. My other...
Hey, Joe?
Yeah?
Before you move on from that, I was noticing on the website for that kit, there was an upgrade for the rotary encoder. And I was wondering what's different with the upgraded rotary encoder versus the one that's there.
You know, I don't know. I will have to ask him what that is. I am not sure which mine is. It seems to tune very easily. I don't know if I have the higher precision one or not. By pushing down on the encoder, you can change it from 100 hertz steps, which is the default, down to 10 hertz steps, or if you hold it down for like 3 seconds, you can put it in 1 kilohertz steps to tune faster. So I don't know what the higher precision is. I will find out, but obviously there is another encoder available, but I really don't know. I'll have to find out.
All right, cool.
The controls on the front is the keyer speed, transmit output power, receiver RF gain, and the volume, and of course the tuning. There's a switch for switching bands, because this is 20 and 40. It's a dual band, and you can hear a relay switch when you change that. And pulling that switch down intermittently triggers the RIT. And so it does have an RIT function and a power on-off switch. Unique to this kit amongst all the other QRP kits I've ever built is that this has 2 key inputs, one for a straight key and one for paddles. So you can actually have a miniature or portable straight key and a set of paddles plugged in at the same time, and you can just pick and choose which one you want to use by just starting to use it. So...
Yeah, I noticed too, I think what I read said that you kind of get somewhat room-filling audio into a loudspeaker with that. And that's the only downside that I found with my little QCX Plus is you either have to use headphones or an amplified speaker, because it can't drive 8 ohms directly, but it sounds like this one can.
Yeah, I've hooked it to a small speaker and it's plenty loud.
Awesome.
My headphones, I have to turn it down, otherwise it's way too loud.
Cool.
The filters, the 4-pole crystal filter, is centered on 700 hertz, and it's about 300 hertz wide. So it's pretty good, even in crowded band conditions. It receives quite well. And when I'm done, I will show you the completed one plugged into the power supply. My other pandemic, well, I'll show you another radio that's also available as a kit. My other pandemic project was something that's been in my basement for 30 years and had worked in the past. And when it quit working, I let stuff pile up around it and it got buried. And 42 bags of trash later, it's uncovered, cleaned up, and I restored everything. And I have a 1975 Gottlieb electromechanical pinball machine. There are no circuit boards in there. There are no LEDs. There's no electronic sound effects. It's the good old doorbell type chimes. Everything is mechanical in there, and restored that to full operation. As you can see, it's all lit up. And
those are the best.
Yeah, and this is what it looks like inside, folks. And the thing that spins with the number targets was jammed pretty good. And I thought, boy, I'm going to have to take that apart. And then I realized, well, it's not really jammed. It's triggered by a solenoid that starts it spinning. And it just didn't spin freely. And so the solution to it was WD-40. I ran WD-40 through it on the shaft and let it soak for about a half an hour. And lo and behold, it spins real good. Well, then I sprayed some solvent in there to get the WD-40 out, and then I put some lighter machine oil on it so it spins freely and doesn't gunk up with the WD-40. And so that is functional. And then there's a device on the lower left kind of here, and that is a spinner, a rotary switch relay control thing. And that's where most of the problems lied, and that was the contacts were bad. And we use a thing called a flex stone on those, something you never, ever, ever want to use on your CW keys or RF relays. Do not use something like that. It's only good for these pre-1975 electromechanical pinball machines. And if you can see, there's a clip lead in there, and that was put in there many, many years ago so that when I would run out of games on it, I didn't have to put a quarter in it or open the door and push the leaf switch that got rolled over when the quarter went in. Instead, if it said 0 games, all it did was I shorted out the contacts that open when it runs out of games so that it says you're done, it says game over, but if you hit the reset button, it just comes back on. But the games knocker works again, the tilt mechanisms are back online, and it plays and it rocks and rolls. And as you can see in there, I do have the full schematic. And everything is programmed by moving jumpers on pins. So it's quite a thing. And so, like I said, I think these are the best machines. I don't like the loudspeakers and the circuit boards and all that in these. I love these electromechanicals, and it's just a lot of fun to play with. So I'm going to close that so you can see my ugly face again. And I'm going to show you what the TR25 looks like all lit up. And see, there we go. Now it's in nice focus. But there it is. I have adjusted it so that the low battery flasher, and that is an optional adjustment to whatever voltage you want. And I set it so it's just a hair under 9 volts. In fact, I sent it to the guy who put it out because I had some questions about it, and he wanted to look and see how I did. And he said that I had that adjusted 40 millivolts below 9 volts. It was just perfect. And he didn't touch anything. It looks really good. So it puts out as much as 10 watts if you're running it off of 14 volts. On 12 volts, you'll get about 8 watts or so on 20 meters, on 40, and 5 or 6 watts on 20. And a fun kit, and that's going to get some summertime outdoor use here. This is the QCX Mini from QRP Labs. And once again, that other kit comes from wa3rnc.com. And you can see here the QCX Mini is there. The only problem I have with this one is I can't get the backlight to work, and so I got to find out what the story is on that. But other than that, it works just fine, and it's easy to read the display in sunlight. And then finally, this is now available in kit form as well as assembled. This is a general coverage receiver, and you can get these. This is called an SI 4732 or 4735 kit. This particular one also has a display identical to the one kit we just looked at. And if I boot it up, we'll see what it does. You can see the display, and it comes up, and it's got FM broadcast, and I can dial in a local station, and it picks up the RDS and everything. But it's not just an AM and FM radio, it is shortwave also. So it covers everything from long wave to medium wave, which is AM broadcast, all the way through all the shortwave and ham bands. It does upper sideband, lower sideband, CW, AM. It has variable bandwidth out to 6 kilohertz, and it actually sounds really good when listening to shortwave or AM broadcast. You can listen to the ham bands on it. The heart of it is an Arduino, which is Glenn's forte. I am just now starting to learn how this thing works by looking at the Sketch, which is the program that runs this thing, and trial and error, I figured out how to get it to load a newer version. And the newer version of the software works wonderful, except for the fact that the dial now turns backwards. So I got to find out which lines on the Arduino are reversed in the Sketch. And I'm sure that's easy to figure out, and can reverse the way it talks to the encoder. That might be in the encoder library as well.
I bet it's in a definition right at the top of the file for the pin definition, and you just reverse those two.
Yep. So it's a fun radio, and you can play with it with the program. And so Glenn knows that it's going to probably get my feet wet in these things.
Welcome to my world, Joe.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I didn't have any trouble. The computer found the driver right away to talk to it and assigned it a COM port. So I thought, oh, well, that's not so bad. So I didn't have to put a driver in the computer, and it talked to it just fine. So anyways, Tom, that is what's been keeping me busy.
All right, well, Joe, hey, man, thank you so much for showing us those. I might have to order a couple of those. I was really impressed with them.
Hey, so, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill's got something up there that relates to the pinball machine.
Yeah, I basically have a flow chart to solve any problem you might have with an electromechanical situation.
Right.
And this works beautifully, and we use it in NASA in particular.
Yeah, I use that just about everything I do down here too.
That's WD-40 cool. Or duct tape.
That's cool.
The yin and yang of the universe.
All right. Hey guys, we need to move on. We got a lot to cover tonight. Hey Joe, thank you so much, man, and we'll see you later. Hey Joe, I think I sent you the link to after the show in case you want to join us, and then we can talk about all the stuff again if you want to.
I will stick around.
Okay, all right, guys. Hey, we'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away. The great outdoors are calling. Get outside and under the stars with one of ICOM's ultimate SDR transceivers. The IC705 is a perfect transceiver for hams who enjoy both the great indoors and the outdoors. It's a perfect QRP companion. The base station has features and functionality at the tip of your fingers and a portable package. And it covers HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. And guess what? It weighs in at just under 2 pounds. It has a 4.3-inch touchscreen, and it's got a live band scope and waterfall. It'll run 5 watts with a BP272 or 10 watts on 13.8 volts DC. It runs all modes, including D-Star. The speaker microphone comes standard. The perfect accessory for the 705 is the LC192 backpack. It has a special compartment for your IC705 and room for all your accessories. Create your own band opening with the IC9700. This transceiver radio brings direct sampling to the UHF, VHF weak signal world. This all-mode transceiver is loaded with innovative features that are just sure to keep you busy. It has a 4.3-inch color touchscreen and spectrum scope and waterfall. It has smooth satellite operation with 99 satellite channels, and it's full duplex operation in satellite mode. Heard it, worked it, and logged it with ICOM 7300. It's a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transistor digitizes the RF before various receiver stages to reduce the generated inherent noise in different IF stages. The IC7300 is the radio that changed the way of entry-level HF. Visit www.icomamerica/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right, and we are back. And let me turn the echo off. There we go. So, man, hey, the show was packed tonight with a lot of good stuff there. I think we lost Dwayne and Katie with the lightning. They may be watching, I don't know, but I can truly understand that, you know. When that lightning and the storms start hitting real close, it's not fun sometimes for ham radio operators. Katie says she's watching. Okay, very good. Well, Katie, I didn't know if you were doing anything you wanted to talk about tonight. If you do, you're going to have to come back into the Zoom meeting or the Zoom connection here. But if not, we're glad you're in the room there. All right, so let's see. While I'm thinking about it, I want to tell everybody right now, next week we're going to have a great show. Let me give you a preview of what's going to happen next week. I'm going to try to give you a preview right here, if I can. I should be able to figure this out. Here we go. So next week we've got a special guest, KK5 IM is going to be with us. Let me give you just 20 seconds of kind of a sneak preview. So here we go. Here we go.
Howdy, I'm Jay Miller, KK5IM. Thank you very much for watching this video shack tour. I started fooling around with amateur radio in 1962 as a Boy Scout. Back in those days, we had to learn the Morse code. We had to study and take written tests, usually given to us by older amateur radio operators. So I can't claim to have been licensed continuously since then, but I have been on the air for over 30 years.
So this is
what you're about to see is operator's license, what follows. And thank you again, who for some extremely good.
So this is some of the stuff here that
accumulate material and junk that never really goes. My shack measures about 24 by 16 feet. I built all of the operating depth.
So that's going to be a cool segment, I think, next week when we get Jay in here. Wow. What do you think about that? What do you guys think about that shack? It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool there. All right, so that's next week, guys. So be sure and be with us next week if you want to see that. Real quick, if you're listening out there on shortwave on WBCQ on 7490, send us an email, tom@w5kub.com. Let us know where you are. Join our show. Our show is live on YouTube on Tuesday evenings. Let's see. Hey, Glenn, just real quick, let me ask you something. I don't think you have anything planned tonight, but are you going to be at Field Day coming up here soon?
I'm looking at it. It looks like I'm going to have that day off. They finally announced officially Prime Day, and it's the week before. So, yeah, I should be able to make it to Field Day this year. Okay,
well, very good. And let me just make this announcement, too. Every year during Field Day, we try also to feature some of the field day operations on our show. So if you're out there and you got a great field day operation, get some video, shoot me an email or something prior to that. Let's talk about getting you on a show or getting your video on a show about field day. So we're gonna do that too. Let's jump over now and talk real quick with Alan about his treasure that he found in, I don't know, flea market, Hamfest. What did you find, Alan?
Well, we actually had the second Hamfest I was able to go to so far this year. Just a local Hamfest, not huge, but it was fun. And picked up. Somebody who's been watching my YouTube channel probably knows that I'm a fan of these guys, the Simpson 260. So I found this Simpson 260 pretty dirty and beat up for $20. But so I brought it home, did a little bit of refurbishing on it. There's you got yours there. I know we had chatted about these in the past, but I thought I'd talk a little bit more about what to look for and kind of what's inside these things and how you set them up and adjust them. And we talked a bit about why you want analog meters, because they're really good for looking and when you're tuning things and you want to see when something is peaked or something's dipped and you want to look for variations of things. So when you're really interested more in variations of things as opposed to absolute, 0.02% accuracy, because analog VOMs really can't be beat. So the 260 is kind of about the king of the hill here in the US anyway. So really, as opposed, and that or the triplet 630 are probably the most common ones, but so anyway, let me see if I got the ability to share. Looks like I do. Yep. Let me kind of just give you a couple of resources and to help you go look for things here. So I've got a couple of videos on my channel that talk about the 260. Video number 321, easy to remember, goes through essentially the whole family. There's a number of different series of the Simpson 260, ranging from the initial one from Series 1 all the way up to a Series 8 or 9 now. And there's a couple of different features and things like that went along with each series. And in that video, I kind of talk about the different series and the era that they were available in, the type of jacks they had, and what kind of batteries they had and that type of a thing. And to me, the one that they really want to kind of find, the most convenient one, is actually a Series 6. It uses a regular banana jack as opposed to like little pin jacks that the early ones had, or the reverse bananas that the later ones had. And it's got a separate battery access door on the back, having to take the whole thing apart. So you got the combination of the battery access door that was available on some of the it's only available on the later ones, but then the regular banana jacks was on the early ones. So the Series 6 is really great for that. So that's always good to look for. A couple of really good resources in terms of things out there and things you want to look out for. Look for battery leakage, because most things with batteries, people leave the batteries in and things get damaged. And especially on the ones that don't have the separate battery compartment, that battery acid can get down onto the phenolic PCB, and then it's basically toast. There's really no good way of restoring that. Look for, make sure the meter movement is good, make sure the meter's not sticky, type of thing. So But I like analog meters. They kind of have to think in order to use them. That's a good thing. Okay, and you don't really even have to have the batteries in them. All right, the only reason really you need the batteries is if you want to measure resistance with them, and I use a DMM for that. So you just leave the batteries out, and then you never have to worry about it again. So one of the things that I did after cleaning up this one that I picked up is to go check to see how accurate it was, and it wasn't terribly accurate, so it was time to do the calibration. So I've actually got a video on that as well. Video number 324 talks about how to calibrate a Simpson 260, and a little bonus in that, I talk about how to build a little 50 microamp current source, which is a really good aid, particularly for the Simpson 260s. And the reason for that is that the meter movement is designed to be 50 microamps full scale. There's really just very few adjustments in these things. It really comes down to something very simple. So the two basic adjustments are right here. The meter itself is actually slightly less than 50 microamps full scale, like 47, 48 microamps full scale. So they put a resistor in parallel with it so that you can put a perfect 50 microamps through the meter and adjust the shunt to get the 50 microamp full scale. So that's how you kind of get the meter set so that it deflects properly with 50 microamps flowing through this whole circuit. And the other thing that they do is there was another resistor in series, so that once you've got the meter set to full scale at 50 microamps, then you adjust this series resistor so that this overall circuit from this end to this end measures 5,000 ohms or 250 millivolt drop at 50 microamps. Once you adjust those two things, then all of your DC voltage scales are all set up. It's all done, because everything else is just precision resistors that are stuck in series with this 5,000 ohm assembly. So as long as there's precision resistors used, there's no other adjustments to make. So every one of the DC voltage scales are all set up once you do that. There's two other adjustments that are made for the AC voltage range, and there's a little procedure that we can walk through on that. And then finally, I built this little 50 microamp current source to use for calibrating the 260s. And it was a pretty simple thing. I wanted a 50 microamp current source that was ground reference just to make it easy for my connections. And all I simply used here, I just scrounging around on my bench to find parts. I found a 6.4 volt temperature stabilized Zener, a 1N4577. I happen to have a whole bag of them for some reason. So that, just off it doesn't have to even be a 9 volt supply, but I use the 9 volt supply. Sets up essentially a constant voltage, about 6.4 volts across that. And then with that, set up a simple PNP current mirror. Okay, and using that current mirror, I was able to basically adjust the values of these resistors to get 50 microamps here. And so I just stick the meter there to measure 50 microamps. And then with the 50 microamps going through, you can also measure the voltage across it and measure the 250 millivolts, and the calibration is done. So it's really pretty simple. But the video kind of walks through that. There's a couple of great resources. Simpson260.com. You literally have got pictures and manuals and things like that, and information specifications for all the different Simpson multimeters, all the 260s and a couple of others. So a really, really great website that this person has put together. There's also a downloads page that has all the different manuals and schematics for the different models of things like that for the Simpson 260s. Great place to kind of go looking for things. And one of the documents there is actually this really nice document, which is the theory of operation. And it goes through, when you set up for DC voltage measurements, what it looks like inside the meter. They may look complex, but it's really pretty simple, right? Plus 5 volts, you go through some series resistors, and then you've got that shunt resistor and the series resistor to set up the 50 microamp and 200 and 5,000 ohm, assembly here, and the rest of it is just all precision resistors. There's a whole discussion about how it works. There's a discussion of how the DC current measurement is set up. There's a discussion how the AC voltage measurements are set up in the meter. Again, it's really all pretty simple stuff. And then a discussion of how the resistance measurements are made. And then there's an overload protection circuit on the models that have a suffix called P, and that's the protection circuit. So just wanted to kind of share a little bit about these meters. What's interesting is that Simpson still sells these 260. Well, they sell a 260 Series 8, I think, still brand new. It's like $350. And it's functionally the same as this meter right here. Okay,
Yeah,
so you can pick
it. Only $25.
Yeah, and I got this one for $20. Right, had to put a little bit of work into it. But again, to me, there's always some value in having an analog multimeter in your shack, on the bench, things like that. You don't have to worry about batteries leaking in it. If you're never going to measure resistance, just leave the batteries out. It always works. It's really good when you're tuning circuits and you want to adjust, and look for things that are going up or down, and look for variations and peaking of circuits and that type of thing. So it's always a good idea to have an analog VOM sitting around. So again, you can find them, and people don't value them like they should, in my mind. And I've got more than I should. but I've got this is a Series 6P. I've got a Series 6 sitting over on my shack bench over there. You can see kind of over my shoulder this way. This is on my bench downstairs. There's one in the corner there, but that's an old picture. There's a couple more there now. So. But like I said, don't be afraid to pick these things up. And one of the things I like to say again is that they do require some thought, right? They're not auto ranging, so you have to know what range you're putting it on. You have to know what scale to read. So the fact that you've got to think, in my mind, is a good thing. And the other thing to remember compared to the DMMs is that they are going to load your circuit more than a DMM will. Right, a DMM's input resistance is typically 10 megohms. So unless you're looking at very, very high impedance circuits, that 10 megohms is not going to load down any kind of a circuit. The Simpson 260 is rated at 20,000 ohms per volt when you're measuring DC. So if you're on a 1 volt scale, it looks like a 20 k ohm resistor. Right, that's a far cry from 10 megohms. So depending on what you're probing, that 20 k ohms might affect something. If you're on the 10 volt scale, it looks like a 250 k ohm resistor. Again, a far cry from 10 meg. But in some cases, that lower resistance can actually be a good thing. When it comes to looking at stray voltages, for example, if you're probing an AC line voltage with a DMM, even if you cut the circuit breaker off and you stick a DMM in an outlet, you might pick up 100 volts or 60 volts or something because of just stray pickup. And it's such a high impedance, it's not going to load that circuit down and drag that stray voltage down. Where a DMM or a voltometer with a lower resistance will tend to drag that and keep those stray voltages out, so you can kind of get a true reading of what's going on. So. But just keep aware of that the loading is different. But I think there's value essentially in both having DMMs and having analog volt-milliamp meters in your shack. So if you find a 260 at a Hamfest, ask if you can pull the back off to see if the battery has been corroded in it. Shake the meter to make sure the meter movement isn't frozen or stuck. And if you've got a little 9-volt battery, keep a 9-volt battery in your pocket and maybe a set of test leads, and then test the meter out real quick to see if it actually works. And if it passes basic functionality and you get it at a good price, it'll serve you for the rest of your life. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Again, it was fun being at a Hamfest. I saw that Ria was in the chat earlier. Ria was at the Hamfest as well, up there in North Jersey. So a nice hot day. I only spent about an hour and a half there because I had another errand to run, but it was nice to run through the Hamfest there, and got a couple more coming up this summer. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, that's great, and we've got a couple of Hamfests coming up. I guess our next one's going to be Huntsville. Joe's going to be there. Glenn's going to be there. Alan?
Yeah, just got confirmation I'm going to be doing an Arduino forum there on Saturday.
Yeah, Alan, you need to get in the company car and head out maybe the day before. Come on.
Yeah, Huntsville's
I'll be doing
15-hour drive.
And Bill will be there. So, hey, most of the gang's going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom, I'll be, I think my forum's at noon, and we're going to do a balloon launch out in the parking lot. By the way, I found this very rare issue of Radio Fun.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how many of you have ever heard of it, but it was published by 73 magazine in 1992 through 91 through 93 or so.
I'll have to try to look. I'll have to try to
I was the
pull
chief
some of those
editor.
up. Yeah. But you shouldn't have held that up there.
Let me show you this one.
You just opened a can of worms.
This is what I looked like in 1992.
Yeah, I've got a video here.
Oh my
I got a video of you. We're going to show here one day back in the 90s of you. You held that up and you opened a can of worms, Bill.
And this is pictures of the Aurora. I was working Aurora, and that was taken in my backyard in Peterborough, New Hampshire, where 73 was based in.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Working with Wayne Green, I could do a whole show about working directly for Wayne Green for 3 years. I've got stories.
All right. I got to say this. I brought it up. You held that first article up. You already opened a can of worms. It had 73s there with an S.
Uh-oh.
We can get a lot of discussion about that, arguments and knife fights and everything. Is it 73s or is it 73? We'll cover that on another show. In fact, I have a video of that.
Yeah.
I have a video of one of the shows about 73 or 73s. But anyway, hey.
It actually stands for the best of 73's issues. So there's multiple issues. So
okay, maybe.
The S in the tape.
If you can define it like you might confine it, you might can define it like that and get away with it.
Get away with it, yeah.
All right, very good. All right, hey guys, okay, let's move on. We're trying to hit our target of 9:15 tonight. We might be a few minutes late, but hey, the show's going to continue, and what we don't talk about this first hour, we'll still talk about it the second hour. So stick around. Hey, we've been talking a while about using a tree as an antenna. Whether or not it would work, and we did some basic tests here this week. Nothing real scientific. We didn't spend a lot of time on it. One reason, weather and different things like that affected us. So, the military did a study a few years, well, not a few years ago, but a number of years ago, using a tree as an antenna, and they basically coupled to the tree with a coil like this. And so we were going to try the same thing. In fact, they actually patented this right here. It's under some patent, but we didn't pull the patent up. So I've got a video here, and I want to show you some what we did, and then we'll show you the results. So this is a quick video. I'll try to fast forward through parts of it if it starts getting boring, but here we go. All I gotta do is get the right picture here. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. I'll frame it in. Here we go.
Okay, so you did use the drain pipe.
Here we go. Well, I had to. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Here we go. Hey guys, you've been wondering about using a tree for an antenna. Well, we're starting to get ready to do it. I looked for the slinky, I couldn't find it. I looked for the jar duck hose, vent hose, but all I could find was the metal ones. I was looking for a vinyl one, and then I started thinking, well, that steel coil is probably not very good. So we're going to use real copper wire here for our coil. So we're going to make a coil, we're going to wrap it around a tree, and we're going to see if the tree will work as an antenna. So don't throw anything away, never throw anything away. I had this out in my storage building, piece of drain pipe. This is going to be our form to wind our coil on. And it's going to go around a tree like this. And we'll fasten here, but it'll be around the tree. What we'll do, we'll use Whisper and make some transmissions around the tree, and we'll take it off the tree, and we will also just set it out in the open and try to make some contacts on Whisper with it and do a comparison. So don't throw anything away. So how are we going to wind this? It's going to take about 120 feet of wire. So Walter's with me, and we're gonna start. So I thought the easiest way to do that is to build some type of contraption where we can wind this. So you need one of these, or something like this. This was in my scrap metal box, so I'm gonna put that in here like this. All right, so you need that, and then where do you hold that? And then I thought, okay, well, let's use an old 2x4 here. You can see it's we're repurposing it, but I put me a bolt in the end there. Can you see that? See a lag screw in the end? Okay. And we screwed a PVC cap on this end. So here's what we're going to do. This is going to assist us in winding this. So Walter, let's see if we get the hang of it. Okay, so this is going to make it easier to wind. So we're going to take this, and we're going to put this lag bolt through this little hole right here. And right here, Walter is setting up the other end. Just some PVC pipe here. And what we're going to try to do, don't know if this is going to work, we haven't done this before, but look at this. If we had a pig, we could roast it right now, couldn't we?
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, Walter, let's see if we can, I'll get it in there and you can feed it on here, or you can turn it, either one, you know? Okay.
Whatever.
So let me put this in here, in this end right here. 1 second. So I'm just gonna feed in about, try to tuck it in here. Okay. Now, the secret is, Walter, I guess you're the turn man, and if you can just turn it.
Okay.
And let's just see if this stuff will try to get the wire down in a little groove for you. Did the handle come apart?
Yeah,
it was slipping on you?
It's ineffective.
I didn't glue it. So anyway, but it's our little homemade thing here is helping, I think. That's looking pretty. Copper. It got another splice coming. It didn't work very well. At least our tape. I think it's just tape. Okay, let me get some cutters. Well, we had about 15 feet left there, so. That took at least, I'm guessing at least 120 feet there.
You can cut down here. Keep yourself a little room.
Yeah, I think that's good right there. All right, let's tape. Let's put this.
And there's your hole.
It's going to bend. It's going to go around the tree like this. We'll take some bungee cords or whatever, and we'll fasten this. We'll hook our antenna tuner to these two wires right here, and this is what's going to couple us to the tree right here. So stay tuned. All right, so this is going to be our test tree right here, and we're just going to pull it around like this. And we're going to bungee it just like this right here. I think I see that hole right. Okay, so that's kind of how it's going to be. This is how we're going to couple antenna tuner, connector. Results are coming. Okay, we're through. All right, so that basically was our coil that we wound, and I saw a comment where it wasn't wound evenly. We tried to lay the wire in each of the little grooves, but as you may have noticed, the grooves don't cut into each other groove. We had to kind of jump over to the next groove. So again, as far as inductor is concerned, it shouldn't have made really any difference for us, and it was insulated wire, and it wasn't going to short out. And I think we had a pretty consistent 4.5-inch coil for 5 feet long. So that's what we put together. Now, I ran some. I ran some test on Whisper, and here they are, guys. Let's see if you can see this. So the first top two pictures shows a 40-meter off-center fed antenna on Whisper. and it shows a 20 meter offset fed frequency using an off-center fed antenna. So you can see what the typical wire antenna pattern looked like at that time. Now if we move down to the next set, we see 40 meters using the tree as an antenna. Using the tree as an antenna, we've got probably the eastern half of the United States pretty much covered there, both north, south, east, west. But then we took the coil off the tree and made a measurement, and if you'll look there, there's not as many. There's maybe 3 or 4 spots, very few spots without the tree. So on 40 meters with the tree, I don't know, there's probably 3 times or more the number of spots there that of people around the country picking us up. If you go down to the bottom picture, that's our 20 meter test, and you can see on 20 meters using a tree as an antenna, we had receptions as far away as like Washington, Oregon, California, New England, Florida. And if you take it off the tree, again, you can see that the footprint was very much reduced, a little bit in the southeast, and that was about it. So does a tree work as an antenna? I would say not as well as a wire up in the air, but it did actually improve. It did improve over just using the coil. Now we made that test by putting that coil, taking it off the tree. You know, somebody was going to say, well, that's like a slinky or that coil, you know, it will radiate. Well, it will radiate, and our tester shows the coil did radiate when it was off the tree, but it only covered about 1/3 of the contacts that we saw when it was around the tree. So I would say a tree works a little bit. What do you think, Alan? What's what? Yeah.
I was curious, how much time difference was there between, you know, how much of that would you maybe attribute to propagation differences?
Well, we try to do it as quickly as possible. Probably, you know, 10 minutes may have expired there. We try to get a quick one. So propagation wouldn't change that much. The last 2 pictures of the wire antennas were probably taken a little bit later than that, but we knew the wire antennas were going to function better anyway.
Tom, did you try looking at similar reports from a same station, tree and no tree, from the same received station? Say 1,000,
well, you know, I have that data. That data is on the database there. I haven't compared it yet. That's another thing I wanted to do is look at the, I guess look at the signal strength of the same station and see how they compare.
That could give you how many dB difference you're actually seeing.
Yeah, it really would. All right. Well, okay. That was an interesting experiment. I wish we'd had more time and could have worked a lot longer on it. And like Bill said, we could have collected a whole lot more data. But we've been talking about it for a long time, and I wanted just to go ahead and get it knocked out and at least get you guys some results there. Okay. You know, Bill, in the next segment, we'll talk a little about our balloons. We had one person tonight in the chat room didn't like us talking about balloons, so he said he was leaving. But that's okay. I mean, you know, when I turn the TV on, I don't like everything I watch. That's why I have a remote control. I change the channel, so I didn't have any problem with that. But we're moving, Bill, from the Pico balloons right now to the high altitude balloons, and I know you have a lot of experience. What do you got? 900 flights, 1,000 flights, 30 years? I don't know.
Well, over 600 over the last 33 years. I was the first person to put a TV camera on a balloon and really started the modern era of high altitude ballooning with the standard weather balloons. All
right. Well, we're glad we have you on our launch team to tell us exactly what to do, Bill. And it's going to be fun trying a different project here. And just quickly, I'll show you guys what we got. I've ordered some cameras. Bill, I didn't go with the expensive GoPro cameras like you said use, because we're going to put multiple cameras in, but we're going to have a fixed action camera at the horizon. And then I've ordered some 360 cameras. And this is a 360 camera. It will actually, with the software, you can actually see straight above, or you can see the horizon all the way around and anything between there. So we're going to put one of these aimed up, and then we've got another one. It should be in a day or two. We're going to have a second 360 camera, and it's going to be aimed down. And again, it'll show from the horizon all the way down to straight down and over to the other horizon. So we're going to do that. And Bill, I'm so glad you sent me that note in Messenger the other night about the spot trace. I'm a little worried about recovering this. We're going to put $300-400 worth of cameras and stuff in this thing, and my fear was always that we would lose it. Yeah, there you go, spot trace. Well, my fear was we would lose all this equipment, but the APRS is going to get us very close to where it goes, but Bill put us on a company called Find Me
Spot.
What is it?
It's called Find Me
Spot. Find Me Spot, and we actually buy a GPS tracker that we will include, and it's a subscription service. We'll pay by the month when we use it, but it will actually track on a map, and it will give us very, very accurate.
The landing site.
It'll give us a landing site. And we should be able to go right out to this thing. And if somebody beats us to it and grabs us and takes it home, the GPS, the Find Me Spot, is going to take us to their house. Yeah, and that's why Bill's going to come up with us. We will drive him down to the house, and Bill can go up to the door and ask for our package back,
I got one of those.
Yeah, that'll work.
What was that, Alan?
I've got one of those on my dog in case my dog runs off. I know I can go find her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's called a whistle.
They have a nice feature in that every 24 hours, if it hasn't moved, it will give you a status update with its current position. And they claim it can last upwards of 10 months. I had one in my house just testing a set of batteries, and it lasted for almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I was reading on here. I mean, there's talking 8 to 20 days for the battery in the spot.
If it's moving.
Yeah. So that's good. Hopefully, we're going to find this again. The balloon's going to take 2 hours up, and it's going to take 38 minutes down. So we're going to be trucking to find it. And okay.
Yeah, because the latex balloon, the weather balloon, starts out about 6 feet in diameter. And at altitude at 100,000 feet, it's going to be like 25, 30 feet in diameter, and it'll eventually pop. And then a parachute comes out and brings it back down.
Well, that's right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, guys. I just posted the Zoom link for the gathering, the after the show. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this Zoom. I think I copied each of you on the new link, and you can join in there. I don't know of any way to combine the two Zooms, but we're just going to bring the other Zoom back up. Guys out there watching, I sent you a link. If you'll click on that link, it'll take you to the Zoom meeting, and you can be part of the show. And the show will continue, and we'll talk about anything you want to. So,
all right. See you on the other side.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other side here. All right, we should be coming up here. All right, and there is, we've got a person already in here. Oh, we got several. We're coming in like crazy, man. Look at this. Let me see if I can get us to see. All right. Look at there. Hey, let me just put the camera on you guys. There we go. All right, let's see how many we can get on. Let's see if we can break a record tonight. Let's see if we can get about 50 or 100 people in here tonight. Boy, they're coming in faster than I can approve them. Let's see, admit. Okay, I'm going to keep admitting. There we go. There we go. Hey, Alan, I think, can you guys, do you see the participants? Is there any way for you guys can approve them?
If I bring up the participants list, I can't see new people coming in. I can.
Okay.
I'm not seeing that. So
I thought I gave you guys like co-host. Let's see. Let me do something. Gee, I don't know if I can keep up with this. It'd be nice to have some help. Let me see if I can find you, Alan, on here.
If you go to the participants list, you might be able to right-click and give me some.
I think I can right-click on your name if I can just find you here. Let's see. Here you are. Let's see. Alan, let me right-click on your name, see if I can give you. That didn't work. Maybe more. I know what I got to do. I think I click on your picture. Let me click on Glenn's picture. Oh, gee, boy, this is oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm not seeing the invite screen, so.
All right. Let me see something. If I right-click on Glenn, that don't work. Left-click on Glenn, that don't work. Let's go to Alan and do more. I read somewhere where I could give you co-hosting.
Yeah, you should be able to. If you click on the participants list down at the bottom to get the list on the right-hand side, maybe you can do it.
Okay, maybe there. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Well, let's see, participants, there it is right there. Well, they're coming up in the center here. They're coming up in the center of the screen. We've got to research this so we can get you guys in here.
Because I use Zoom for work and I can pass privileges to people, but it's usually, I hit that participants link on the very bottom of the Zoom window to bring up the participants list as a panel on the right-hand side. Yeah. And then from there, I'm able to pass privileges to other people.
That's what I'm trying to do. Let's see, to Alan. I see. I think I found something. Let's see.
The gallery view shows everyone. Up there in the upper right-hand corner.
All right, let me go to gallery view. We'll figure this out, guys. Everybody just bear with us. How do I get the chat off? Let's see. Close chat.
Yeah, I see Ron, I see David, I see John, I see Mac.
Gallery view. Okay. I read somewhere where I should be able to click on your picture. Wait a minute, let's see.
You can set the speaker view. If you hit speaker view, then whoever's speaking is highlighted.
You just saw
make the view and the gallery view.
There's a make co-host right there in the middle of the list. It says make co-host. If you do that,
yeah, right there. Okay, I think I'm on you, Alan. Let's see.
Yep, you're on me.
No, yeah, I'm on you. Okay. All right, let's see if this works. Then we'll know next week what to do.
Yeah, now I can admit people on you. So
okay, you can help us. All right, you can help us. You can help us there. Very good. All right, we got it figured out, guys. Oh man, woo! I'm out of breath.
Somebody's got it figured out.
Man, that tired me out, man. That tired me out.
All right, so there we go.
All right, I'm glad we got somebody that knows what they're doing now. And let's see. Well, hey, let's see. That sounds good. Let's see, Glenn. Yeah, Glenn.
What?
I just made you a co-host. You can help too.
Gosh, I'm an honest to goodness co-host now.
Well, I'm just letting Bill in here. WZ1L coming in.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow,
all right.
And Ron K9ID. That's from Doctor Who, isn't it?
Doctor Who?
The K9.
Oh, K9.
Isn't that Doctor Who's dog?
Oh, I guess. I don't know. Ron's our buddy up here. Ron does all the hats and stuff, man.
Yeah, he's the hat guy, man.
He's the hat man and everything else.
Okay, we've got our first sentient device that has joined us.
Who?
It's called an iPad.
An iPad?
The Terminator has begun. Here comes Skynet.
Just iPad has joined us here.
iPad joined. Okay. All right. Well, now you guys that I just gave co-host to, you can also kick people off, so if you need to. All right. Well, I don't know what we got. Maybe 12 people.
Well, yeah, if iPad lets us know who you are, we can even rename you so we can actually put your name and call sign on there. So,
yeah, unless it's just the iPad doing it, like.
Well,
like
people have to know how to run this stuff here. You got to get in there first, and he's probably still looking for the password to get in.
Yeah. All right, guys. Okay, man. K9 is Doctor Who's dog. That's right. All right.
There you go.
So what do you think, Bill? We were talking about.
At least he's not showing a Dalek.
Yeah, Bill. We were talking about my little 360 cameras. What do you think?
Those look pretty nice. I have a 360 camera here that's not a GoPro.
Yeah.
The GoPros work really well. The only thing you'll have to make sure is you have enough battery.
Right. And guess what? The battery. I want to show you the battery I've got.
He's going to use a car battery this time.
Yeah, we're using a car battery on this. Let me show you what we got here. Let me browse. I'm gonna pull it up. And
I'm just thinking about a car battery dropping from 100,000 feet.
Well, we're gonna have a 3-foot parachute on it, so don't worry.
Let's do the
That'll definitely be faster than 38 seconds.
Yeah.
What is the airspeed?
Instead of 38
of a
minutes,
car battery with a 3-foot parachute.
Yeah, instead of 38 minutes, that figures out at 38 seconds, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a good thing you're doing that where you are, because here in New Jersey, where it's back-to-back suburbia, you're likely to drop something on somebody's house.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Okay.
I tell you what, Tom, it was good to see Walter. What's he been up to, man?
I don't know. He's retired. He's so busy now, he doesn't have time to do anything, man. So I don't know.
It's good to see him again.
So I want to show you this, I need you guys. I need you guys' help on this. The little, external battery packs you can buy for cell phones. Got the USB port on them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of them listed on eBay now are Amazon. Now get this.
Yeah, Amazon now.
Amazon. They're on Amazon. I'm gonna pull it up in a minute if you don't believe me. I'm gonna pull it up. Don't laugh.
Amazon's got a Simpson 260 for like $285.
All right, you ready for this? The little battery pack that I ordered, it's got 4 USB ports on it, and we're going to run different cameras off that battery pack. That battery pack says it's 900,000 milliamp hours.
900,000?
All right. I knew you. Wait. I knew you were going to say that.
I can run my house.
Yeah, I knew you.
Is that Chinese yen?
Hey, I knew you were going to say that. So I'm going to prove it to you. Every listing.
Microamp hours?
Every listing. Now, let me pull it up. Let me just pull Amazon up, since that's the one that we trust.
It's like that 2,000 watt Baofeng.
Well, I got to pin his camera now just to see what he's talking about.
All right, now, hang on. We're going to get there. This has been bugging me the whole time. 900,000 milliamp hour battery. And I figure that I ought to run all my cameras for a few years if I get them up there, and if this thing will come down.
900 amp hour battery.
Yeah. It's going to weigh as much as a Tesla.
No, this thing only weighs just a few ounces. 900,000 milliamps.
Boy, that's some power density right there.
That's right, man. It's some new super lithium batteries. What's going on here? Let's see.
I think you must have a nuclear Mr. Fusion. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. New diamond battery.
All right, I'm about to get it. I knew you wasn't going to believe me. I knew it.
No, it's the new Chernobyl edition.
There you go.
I knew you were going to do it. All right, let's just look at it. It's going to take a minute to find the one I ordered, but here we go. All right, I want you guys to look at this. Let me put it on here. All right. Now, here's one right here. This is a little small one. This one here is only 25,000 milliamp hours. You see that right there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wait a minute. You don't see the milliamp hours on it. Hang on.
25 amp hours.
No, wait a minute. Let me get it where you can see it.
Well,
Now,
we'll
what does that say up there?
25,800.
25,800 milliamp hours. Okay. All right. That's pretty good capacity, isn't it?
Yeah. But look, you get a $3 coupon with it. Why do you not want to buy it?
Yeah. Right. All right. Let's see.
Yeah. I wonder if they're taking.
Here's another one. Here's one. This is a small one. This is a small one. Only 20,000 milliamp hours. Let's see if we can find one I ordered. 20,000. Every one of them is listed like this. It's not like somebody made a mistake. 26,800 milliamp hours.
I can't even guess what it's supposed to be.
I mean,
did they take the milliamp hour ratings of each of the cells in there and literally add them up?
I don't know what they did, but you see my dilemma here.
The M may stand for micro instead of milli.
Yeah, microamp hours.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. 26,000 milliamp. 20,000. 13,000.
I want to see that 1 million milliamp hours.
26,800.
Quicker, just go to your orders and pull up the device off your order list.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's
But
see.
he doesn't want us to see what else he's.
Well, yeah, it's okay. Let's see.
As long as he's not ordering from Wish.
That's all right. Let's see. Let's see. I think it's under. I don't know if I ordered it under Kathy or me. Heck, and it ain't in. It's not in the memory on this. Hang on. It's going to take me a minute to find it. Let's see.
Make sure you post your passwords so it's.
I'm gonna. I'll do that. I'll see.
You're bad. You're bad, Bill.
I'm going to head out, guys.
All right, man.
Enjoyed being on again.
See you, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Take care. Good presentation tonight.
Thank you.
I bought a camera years ago on eBay, and you could hear somebody typing on a keyboard. The door opened up, and it was her husband saying, "I told you, that you need a better password for your bank account. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody can figure that out. Here's the actual password. Memorize it." And it was AC4338. And he made the wife repeat it several times. Now that's our bank account password. It's used for everything. Don't write it down anywhere. Don't give it to anybody. And meanwhile, he's recording the tape on this video cassette camera he bought from him. Put the camera on it to record over the tape, so what was on it would be erased. But he didn't know that he was recording all this. So I was really tempted to write his wife and say, "Hey, I know your bank account number. Your husband just gave it to me."
Hey, Tom, I found it.
Did you find the one?
Yeah, it's a 900,000 milliamp hour. It's a QI, Quebec, India, wireless power bank backup portable charger for $38.
Yeah, is it red? Is it a red one with 4 ports on the front?
No, this one's black.
Well, okay, but it's got 4 ports. You can get it in either color. So
I just found one on Newegg that's 2 million.
Oh, 2 million?
Yeah.
I should have ordered that one, man.
Let me show you this. Hold on. Let me see.
Hold on. We got to back up here a minute. I heard the word wireless.
It's induction charging.
I was just going to say, is this some new Tesla technology?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Holy cow.
Here you go. 2 million milliamp hour power.
Yeah. Now tell me what's going on here. I can
look
understand.
at the second line in the description. 500 million mega amp hours.
5 million. 5 million there, 2 million there. So who knows what it was?
I can understand the Chinese, maybe a typo. The English, maybe we weld instead of solder, stuff like that. Maybe they made a mistake here, but 2 million. I mean, but here's the thing: every single battery.
I think what we're seeing is the result of Common Core math right here.
Yeah, every single battery is like that. That's not a typo with one guy. Every single battery is like that. I'm gonna order one of those and put it in my Silverado truck just to start it. Yeah.
You need the 1.21 gigawatt model.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they got it too there, man.
If you don't have the flux capacitor, it's not going to work anyway.
Make sure you don't speed in the truck when you do that.
Oh,
you don't have the flux capacitor to hook up to it, it's not going to help.
Yeah.
All right. Go on Amazon and look for a flux capacitor.
All right. Sorry it took so long, but I just had to prove that to you guys. You guys didn't believe me when I first told you that. You thought I was a company
called ThinkGeek that I actually ordered a flux capacitor that you plug in your cigarette lighter, and it looks like the real deal.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, I love ThinkGeek, man. They got cool stuff.
This one's got.
What do we got? Hey, Ron's holding one up. This
one's got 24,800 stamped right on it.
24,800 milliamp hours.
Yeah, I've got one that's 20,000. I carry with me all the time.
You wouldn't have to charge that about once a year.
Well, no, that would say that if I got a device that draws 1 amp,
yeah,
I could charge it I could run it for 24 hours.
24 hours?
Yeah, 24,000 milliamps is 24 amps.
Yeah. That was 24,000, right? Yeah, 24 amps. That's still pretty hefty for a little battery like that. Yeah. Oh man. Well, Bill, so my plan is we're going to run the 360 cameras, one aimed up, one aimed down. I got some short cables. We're going to power them. We're going to power them through that 1 gigawatt battery, external battery. I've already tested my sports cam in here. It'll record. I took it out of the loop. It will record 5 hours. Before.
Okay. Some of those cameras, they go for 30 minutes and then they stop.
Yeah, I've got a camera. I've got a camera here. I was going to donate to the cause, and after 27 minutes, it stops. So I ordered another sports camera, and it will run 5 hours before the 32 gig card fills up. I think
this whole. Have you tried seeing how long put all the cameras on some of these battery packs? If you exceed a certain current limit, they'll just stop.
Well, if you look at that 1 giga amp battery we're just looking at, it's got 4 ports, and it shows each one of them. It shows 2 of them at 2.1 amps each, and the others are like at 1 point something amps each. So I'm thinking I can run my cameras. I'm going to try it. I mean, we're going to test it beforehand.
I know I tried running one of my Sky Tracker boards with a super cap on it, and the inrush current is so much that it just shuts those battery packs down.
Oh, really? Yeah. I was thinking this little 360 camera here, you can also set it up for front view only, and it's got an HDMI output on it, and I'm thinking, hey, I might just put this on a tripod and use it here on the show and see what kind of picture I can get. It's probably a little wide angle.
I'll see which one I've got here.
Probably wide angle.
Let's see.
So it's heavy. It's actually a little heavy too. To tell you the truth, I don't know what that weighs, but I'm hoping that we can keep our payload under 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds when we fly our balloon.
You're going to have to call this balloon Big Bertha.
Well, we went with a bigger balloon. This balloon, I don't know if we'll hit 100,000 or not. It might be pushing it. The balloon, the average pop on this particular balloon says 100 to 110,000. Now we may lose it at 90. I don't know.
How much weight?
Yeah, depending on the weight. I think it says like 4 pounds or something. I'm hoping we come in about 2 pounds or so, and.
I'll give you a link where you can predict that. The UK High Altitude Society on their Predict website, there's actually a balloon burst program that you can click on and enter all that data with that size balloon, and it'll tell you, and it's reasonably accurate. It's plus or minus 5,000 feet, but that'll give you a pretty good idea.
So I was talking to Find Me Spot today. I know that, let's see, we got a person here.
You make sure you set it up, or that it defaults to the 24-hour update, where the status update every 24 hours. Set it up for 2.5-minute updates as well.
Yeah, we'll have to spend.
Take the screws off, and then there's a little program you download to configure it. So you have to configure it for the update rate and whether you want that status.
Yeah, it's going to, the 2.5 minute is going to cost us an extra $6.25 a month, but we'll be on a month to month instead of a contract.
Okay.
So if we only use it 1 month, and then we pay for 1 month, and then 4 months later if we want to use it.
I do so many flights. I do the yearly thing, which is actually cheaper. But if you're doing just the month to month, do they charge you an activation fee?
One time activation. Whether you stop it, start it, the rest from then on, no other activation fee. There is a 24 for the Flex plan. There is a $24 per year charge, in addition to the $12 per month. So, but it's still very reasonable. And I was talking to the lady about it today, and the specs say it only works at 21,000 feet below. She said she was pretty sure that was because of temperature. At 21,000, it probably wouldn't work. I'm hoping that's the case, but because we're going to have it insulated and inside the styrofoam, so I don't think the temperatures are going to get low. So it might work higher.
Sometimes they'll work higher, but usually they drop out about 40,000 feet.
Okay.
And they don't come back on until you're below 40. But the whole reason for them is that it will give you the final landing spot from the ground. It goes up to the Global Star, uses the Global Star satellite system.
Yeah, and there are cheaper trackers out there that use the 4G cell network, but I don't trust those. Yeah.
Well, if you're in a remote area and you're not near a cell tower, then they're not going to work.
Yeah.
This, wherever you are, you could land on the North Pole if you're on an ice cap or polar bear, and it would send up to the satellites.
That's right. And when we go, all kinds of things are going through my mind. Like when this thing comes down, 38 minutes down. I mean, we should have a pretty good, with the predictions, we should have a pretty good idea of where it's going to be out there, and we're going to be heading that way. We'll have some advanced parties out there watching for it, and they'll also have access to the satellite map. But here's my fear. It's going to come down on Interstate 40, and it's going to hook on top of an 18-wheeler. And we're going to see that sucker. We're going to see that sucker at 20 feet above the ground, doing 80 miles an hour, heading east. And
you're just going to see it go dead center into a lake.
We're going to have to chase that guy down, that 18-wheeler down, man.
Well, I'll tell you stories, but I don't know if I want to scare you.
Oh boy.
We actually have hit a car. Well, one of my friends in Kansas hit a car on the interstate.
Oh boy. I know. Don't tell me. It was a Mercedes, and it was an $8,000 dent.
It cost him $70 to fix the small crack in the guy's windshield.
Oh man.
The guy was very nice about it. He said he was just driving around, all of a sudden, whomp. He thought it was a bird.
Yeah.
He pulled up and saw the parachute and saw the real sign.
Well, that's my fear, that it's going to come down in a populated area. I don't.
Now, I had one come down in the middle of the Ohio River, and I figured that was a total loss. And so we were going to go down to the next bridge down. We figured out the current flow of the Ohio River at the time, and we found a bridge that would float under about an hour after it splashed down. So we drove to that bridge, and on the way, I got a phone call and this guy was on a houseboat in the middle of the Ohio River and says, and he was kind of drunk. He was having a big party, and he goes, "We found something of yours. We saw a parachute in the water. We pulled it out thinking it was some skydiver that splashed down and he was in trouble. And we pulled out your payload, and it's had your number on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got it back."
That's good.
Cool.
Oh, man.
Well, we had one land in Boston Harbor, and we had all our DF. This is before GPS. We had a big DF group in New Hampshire and Massachusetts at the time, and they loved to chase these. And they said all our beam headings are pointing towards the Boston Lighthouse. I'm afraid this one splashed down, the Boston Harbor Lighthouse. And I got a phone call about a half hour later from a guy. He said it splashed down right next to a speedboat. He stopped the boat, pulled it in, and it started beeping at him, so he threw it right back into the water thinking it was a bomb.
Oh.
Then he saw the reward sign, and he says, how many people would put a reward sign on a bomb? So he decided to risk it and pull it back in, and I got it back, and half the board is green. Because salt water and electronics do not mix.
Yeah. Well, Bill, we're waiting on stuff to come in. I've got the balloons. I've got a couple of cameras. I'm waiting on the 900,000 milliamp hour battery. I'm waiting on the parachute. The parachute has been shipped.
What did you get it from? That link you sent me, or did you buy it from?
We went with scientific balloons.
Did they? Did you read the fine print that they only had blue ones?
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
That's not going to be real easy to see.
Well,
I like neon orange and neon yellow.
I wanted to order the orange and white stripe ones, but they were about 3 times as much money. Plus, they had a little footnote that says they're out of orange and white. So I think they said you're going to get blue or something like that. So
Couldn't you
anyway.
paint
Same
it?
company.
What was that?
Must be
Couldn't you paint it?
add a little weight, but you could. This is ripstop nylon, so it's good quality stuff.
Yeah.
But I found that combination of fluorescent orange and fluorescent yellow really stands out, because that's something you don't really see in nature too much unless you've landed on a flamingo farm with pink everywhere.
Well, hey, what about us hanging a bunch of orange and white streamers on it when it goes up? And that way,
you could do that.
They sell that. They sell that, so when it lands in a cornfield, these streamers lay out across all the corn, and you can find it.
Well, let me tell you about cornfields. If the corn's very high, you can actually walk down within one corn row of the payload and never see it.
Right. That's why they sell streamers to put on there.
We had a live TV camera on one that landed in a 10-foot tall cornfield, and we just went through. I had my little portable TV camera, and you can see a corn stalk, and all of a sudden I saw a tennis shoe, and I said, whoever's got the red tennis shoe, stop now. You're right next to it. And they did not see it until they went over. I told them which way to turn based on the camera view.
Yeah.
So
all right. Hey, we've got about 9 minutes until our show ends on shortwave. Let's see who we got in here. Let's see if we got any new people in here. I see Ron in here. I see Dave. Who else is in here?
Raise your hand if you're new.
Yeah, if this is the first time you joined us, okay. John, NI4Z. Hey, John.
On the wall back there.
How you doing, Tom? Everybody?
Doing good. And where are you, John?
Rock Hill, South Carolina, just south of Charlotte, about 20 miles.
All right, Charlotte. Okay, gotcha. All right. Who else we got?
N30AW, he's new.
Yeah. And I see Tim in there. I see our friend Tim, WB8HRO, ham radio outlet. He needs to sell that call to them, get $1 million for it, you know. Let's see what we got here. Hey, let me just make a quick announcement. If you're listening on shortwave on WBCQ, shoot us an email to tom@w5kub.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you're new in the chat room there, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. We'd love for you to do that. That helps us out in our rankings. Our next Hamfest is going to be in August. Well, we're in June now. Is it June, July? Man, it's not very far away.
No,
August,
it's not far off at all.
Not far off. August, we'll be down in Huntsville, Alabama. That's going to be cool. And in September, I'm going to a new Hamfest in Sevierville, Tennessee, and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. They're combining those areas there, 2 Hamfests into one. And I'm going to be over there with them. That's September 25th. Huntsville is August something, I don't know.
21st or 22nd, isn't it?
20 something in August, but you can go to Huntsville Hamfest site. This called hamfest.org.
Hamfest.org, yeah.
And you can get that. Let's see, Tom.
21st and 22nd.
Yeah, we'll be there. We're already signed up, already ready to go.
All right, man. We'll be glad to see you there, and it's been a long time since we've seen each other with all the closings here. It's going to be an interesting new layout there. They're going to have a lot more room. I would think, Ron, I would think that Huntsville might even be bigger this year than it has been in other years. No Hamfest for 2 years. There may be a lot of people wanting to go.
Well, I was talking to them. What they're going to do is, in order to, nobody knew exactly what was going on and what was going to be open and what was going to be closed and everything like that. So in order to space the tables further apart, they're going to be using the whole room instead of having sort of part of it closed off.
Right.
That wall that they usually pull shut after setup.
Yep.
Is going to be open, and they're going to use the entirety of the space.
Yep. Well, there you go. There's a floor plan layout. If you look here on the very right side, you got the stage, and we're going to be right next to the stage on the very end there. And where all those chairs are, like Ron is saying, that's all new area. That's being expanded right there to give a whole lot more room. So it's going to be cool, man. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I remember way back in the day, they had that back room as well.
Yeah, there you go. I had the picture here anyway. 900,000 milliamp hour. I knew I had that picture loaded here.
And Tom, I bet you could find a 1 million milliamp hour battery at Huntsville Hamfest.
Well, I might.
You got to get away from the table first.
I might could. It just depends on how. I need a 1 million milliamp battery that is about the size of a cell phone, though. That's what I need. That way I can.
Yeah, we'll get the Hamfest booth going here in the background.
Yeah.
On the forums there, I think I'm at 10 a.m. on Saturday and Bill's at noon, so you got time to do both of our forums this time around.
Man,
That's good.
Here's my problem. Here, if you guys can get somebody to record it, we can put it on the channel. But people always ask me about going to these forums. If I go to every forum there, I don't get to see the Hamfest or do anything.
That's why I asked mine to be early in the morning.
Yeah.
So I can get out and do the Hamfest myself.
Me too. But again, if we can get in like at Dayton and places, I've had friends that helped us a little bit. They actually went into the forums for us and set up a camera and recorded the forum, and then we can play it or parts of it back.
Well, you can record mine, but since I do it usually with a PowerPoint, we can just play the PowerPoint here after the Hamfest.
And you could do that here. You could do it here one night too.
Yeah.
Let's see. We need an advanced tracking team. I don't know where all our viewers are right here. If you're in Western Tennessee, we could use a couple volunteers to help look for this balloon when it comes down. Although we're hoping it comes down within 30 or 40 miles of Memphis, So that may be a long ways from you.
Just be careful. You might have to move your launch site a little east because you don't want to get across into Arkansas, which it can do in July and August. You can it'll go farther west than east.
Well,
and with the 40 bridge being out, it may take you a while to get over to recover.
Well, it may, and you know what? That's a good point. Maybe we have a team lined up over there on that side of the river. I mean, there is a bridge to go over there, but it could delay you maybe an hour in driving. So that's a good idea. We'll try to have some local hams in West Memphis.
What we often do is we have the predicted landing zone figured out that morning or the night before, and we send a couple people to that spot to wait for it.
Yeah. We may change our launch point because where I've been launching is right in the center of the approach path to the Memphis airport. I mean, the planes will fly directly over us here. Again, flying the size we are in the FAA regulations, we could launch from there, but I think it's just good practice to try to move out of that vector where we're not in the flight path.
Close and on the approach, you probably want to actually contact the tower if you want to fly from there.
Right. Well, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to file the.
They'll tell you. Yeah. They'll tell you when the minimum air traffic is. Yeah. If you're fixed on that side.
Well, we're going to file a NOTAM with them, and I'm sure that we'll be calling them, before we launch. But we're thinking about moving our launch site somewhere that's outside of that meridian where the planes come in. So just get outside of that. We're about 10 miles. Location. What was that, Bill?
Glenn's got a good. Look, Glenn's probably in
I'm on the north-south path.
Yeah.
They're right over my house, too.
And we're about 10 miles out, so, anything under,
Yeah, I'm probably only 5 miles out.
Yeah. But, so, we may go, Glenn, we may go up to, like, Shelby Farms or something, and that would kind of get north of
north
the airport.
North and east, we get you. Make sure the wind's going the right direction.
Yeah, or we may go out to Summerville, to the little airport out at Summerville and launch or something.
Yeah, I drive past the 55 exit to get on the I-55 bridge, and it is just wall-to-wall traffic during rush hour. So you do not want to go across that bridge.
Now, I will say we've launched from a lot of small airports, just little small private airports, and they'll work with you, and they'll work with the air traffic going around when you make the launch.
Well, and that's why I mentioned.
Often they'll give you a hangar to work out of. So that's a good thought.
That's why I mentioned Summerville. There's a airport out there. There's no tower. It's just a little airport. It's like, I don't know, it's like 25 miles northeast of here or something. It's a good ways out of here to the north and east. I'll contact maybe the manager out there, the airport manager, and maybe we can gas up in a hangar or something.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's 10 o'clock. I want to say thanks to everybody out there for listening on WBCQ. We're glad you joined us tonight. This program was about ham radio. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week, Thursday afternoon on shortwave, and join us Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time on youtube.com/W5KUB. All right, so officially, the 50,000 watts just went off.
Hey, Tom, can we get each person that's on right now to give a shout out of where they're located?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. We'll stick around for a while. Let's start. Let's see. We've already had, John's already told us he's down in South Carolina. Who's next on the list? How about Mac? Where's Mac from there?
I'm in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
John's already told us he's down in South Carolina. Who's next on the list? How about Mac? Where's Mac from? Let's see. I need to mute.
I'm in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
John's already told us he's down in South Carolina. Let me see if I can mute. Let's see. Did somebody mute him?
Yeah, Lester was. It sounded like he was getting the YouTube audio in, so I muted him. Sorry about that,
you beat me to it. I couldn't find the mute button. Okay, we'll get Lester back in here in a minute. So, Stone Mountain, huh?
Roger.
It's Stone Mountain. Isn't that over near Sevierville and Pigeon Forge over that way? Or no, wait, that's on down south. It's on down south, isn't it?
It's outside of Atlanta.
Oh, that's right. That's right. What am I thinking of, Bill? Up around Pigeon Forge, there's some bluff or some mountain up there or something. Anybody know?
Dollywood.
There's Dollywood's there, right? I don't know. Okay. Well, hey, Mac, good to have you.
I think it's Sevierville, yeah.
Good to have you.
There's the Smokies.
Yeah, there's something up there. I forget what it is, man. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, who's
Are
next?
you in Gwinnett County, Mac?
No, and just right up next to it, I'm in DeKalb County. I'm about
Okay, I've worked
about a mile north of the carving on the Stone Mountain.
Oh wow! I visited the radio club there at Gwinnett Amateur Radio Club.
Yeah, I'm a member there. I always enjoy the show. I don't always have anything to contribute, but enjoy the show and taking care of the ants and so forth.
Well, good, man. I don't know if the ants are going to follow us next or not. It's going to be a really dangerous mission.
Sounds like it.
I'm a little worried. When this sucker pops at about 100,000. That chute may not open until it gets down. I don't know, Bill. How far is it going to fall before that chute might open?
It actually opens almost immediately, it doesn't do much. It can go over 100 miles an hour at first. I always put an embroidery hoop in the shroud line so it doesn't tangle all up. That's a little hint that over the years I found that helps.
All right. We'll try to work that into this. And you're gonna let's see, Anthony. I think. Let's see. Jim's joined us. Let me get Jim in here. All right. Yeah. Well, you're going to help us tremendously with all the little hints and kinks that we need to know about and put in here.
I'm going to jump out of here, gentlemen.
Okay.
I got to get to bed and get up for work tomorrow morning. So I'm not retired yet. So I got to get back to work tomorrow.
All right, Alan. Thanks, man. Hey, great presentation tonight on the 260. Enjoyed it.
All right.
Absolutely.
See you later. See you later.
Yeah, Tom, we couldn't sell my 260 or your 260 to Glenn, so I guess we have to negotiate a lower price.
Yeah.
I love the 260 though. It's
I grew up. As I mentioned, my uncle was the only TV repairman in like the entire county, and that's where I got all my parts. He had hundreds, not a few, but hundreds of junk TVs. So if I needed a transformer or a tube or a socket, you just drill it out. Capacitors, resistors, coils, tubes. But see, back then we used tubes, guys. We don't, nowadays you don't use tubes, but anything, man. But anyway, he had a Simpson 260, man. He'd go on his service calls, or he'd be there in the floor of the TV shop, and that 260 was the workhorse, man. It was a great meter, and it still reminds me. It still reminds me of him,
Yeah, a lot of those rigs used TV sweep tubes.
A lot of what? Rigs? Yeah, some rigs did. Some rigs did, and there were
for the finals.
There were building articles about building linears with the sweep tubes too.
Yeah.
I never did use a sweep tube in an amplifier.
My FTDX 560, the Yaesu had sweep tubes in it.
Yeah,
and they burned out quite a bit.
They did what? They went out. Yeah,
they would burn out.
I always liked the rigs with a pair of 6146s in it.
Yes.
You almost couldn't hurt those suckers.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Yeah.
Hey,
I think those are in the Viking
too, guys. I gotta go to work in the morning.
Bye, Glenn.
We'll catch you next
time.
time.
See you, Glenn.
See you, Glenn.
Good night. 73.
Follow you out the door.
73.
Good night, guys.
All right.
So,
Glad you got air conditioning.
About a vacuum tube, when my daughter, who's going to be 30 later this month, was about 16, 17, there was a discussion going on around the table about old technology with, some friends who were over. And we were talking about tubes, and I looked at my daughter and I said, "Do you know what a vacuum tube is?" I just sort of wanted to see if younger people know. And like I said, she was maybe 17 at the time, and she said, "Of course I do. It's what Mom puts on the sweeper to do the stairs."
Oh yeah, vacuum tube. Yeah. Oh man. Wow.
Well, gentlemen, I've got to take my leave as well. I got to get up and work in the morning. So y'all have a good night, 73, and thanks for letting me join.
Okay, man. Hey, see you next week. Join us next week, man. All right.
Enjoyed it. 7-3.
Oh man, yep. Hey, I love the tube days. Of course, that means I'm really an old guy now. But talk about building stuff, man. I had the parts. It was like I had my own private Radio Shack I could go into any day. Any part I needed, it was there.
I built a really nice transmitter, CW transmitter, with nothing but TV parts.
Yep.
Old scrap parts, and I had them all wired together in a big ball with just the wires hooked together with Fonstock clips. And I had a 600-volt transformer on it. And one day I brushed that with my arm, and it just went up in a ball of sparks and flame.
Yeah. I tell you, I built an amplifier. I think I had 3 813s, and I put them in an amplifier.
Fortunately, I didn't.
And you know what? I used.
813s are good too.
Yeah, I had 3. I had put 3 of them in there. And I used a TV transformer. You take an old color TV. They were really power hungry. The color TVs. You take an old color TV, pull that big transformer out, and it was big. And I don't even remember the voltages now, but it may have been like 900, maybe even 900 volts each side of center tap. So 1800 volts right there. And if you use that transformer, just for the high voltage, and you didn't use the 5 volt, or the 6 volt leads on it. You could run that transformer at a lot more current just by not pulling the current off that 5 volt lead and the 6 volt leads. And nowadays, you want a transformer nowadays, you're gonna pay $200-300 just for a transformer. If you wanted to build something like that.
Hey, let's see, James, are you with us? WD8IOL. I see he's on the Zoom call. I just came down from Findlay, Ohio, and I see he's up in Toledo. So that's not too far away.
I'm trying to...
Who was it that said he was in Stone Mountain?
Hey, you know what? Stone Mountain, I think he left. Yeah, he checked out a minute ago. Hey, we've got Dave. Hey, we've got Dave in here. Hey, we have Dave in here. KC9. What is it? VVJ, isn't it? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, I can't hardly read the screen on that from that far away. But hey, Dave gave us this great presentation, last week or the week before about the high altitude balloons, and Dave, I think you and Bill may have talked before or worked together on something, or.
Well, we've exchanged emails a few times over the years. I don't have nearly as many flights as he does, but I might be the only one that's ever hit a wind turbine on the way down. So
yeah.
Yeah, where are you in Indiana, Dave?
South Bend, up in the north part.
Okay.
So let me ask you two guys. Like, how in a lawnmower you get out there and you get this piece of nylon cord and it wraps around the blade and it just stops the lawnmower. Then you have to turn it upside down. You have to cut it and dig it out. What happens when all this rope hits the windmill, man? Will it stop a windmill? Will it? I mean, everything.
No,
I don't think.
no. When we actually, that was a flight where our advanced team saw the balloon pop at 100,000 feet. They could see it with their binoculars, and then they went after it and they were within half a mile, and it was 1,200 feet off the ground, and they turned their head to follow the road. And when they looked back, it was not there. And so the blade just really whacked it good. And it's amazing to me, we went out right underneath the blade trying to find parts because we had the biology department at school put some bacteria as an experiment on the thing, and we wanted to get it out of the cornfield. But those things are huge, and it's.
But you would think it's turning pretty slow, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it just seems that way because they're big, but when you're underneath it, I guess it still is turning slow.
Yeah,
it's a lot of power behind it.
A lot of power, just a huge amount of power.
Wow.
I've landed them on power lines before, and we've had the payloads short out and just burst into flames, and sometimes they're okay, but it's not fun. And even in like a 1,000-acre field, I'll find a tree, the only tree sitting out there.
That's why I was telling Tom and the team last week was, my guess is chances are you're going to wind up in a tree. And you won't have much trouble finding it, but you're going to have trouble getting it down.
I have a tree sensor in mine, and my solution for that is college students.
Oh man. Well, I've got some. I've got balloon get friends that have, they do the balloons professionally, and they say they always carry a chainsaw with them. But I'm not sure that would be a good idea.
I've got one of my team members. He's chased all my balloons for many years, and he's a search and rescue guy. He's got an inflatable raft. He's got chainsaws, tree climbing equipment, and the snake bite kit. In fact, one of the ones landed on a tree on top of a mountain, and on the way up there, he passed 2 rattlesnakes. Then the tree, it was 120 feet in the tree, and he just threw the ropes up there and climbed right up. Now, we were in Georgia, however, and it landed 120 feet up in the tree, and it was on a farmer's field, a farmer there, and he looked at it and says, "I don't mind if you cut that tree down. I got a chainsaw in the barn." Oh, great. So he went and got the chainsaw, and we sawed it down. 90-foot tree comes down, walk right up and pull the payloads out of the top. And then he says, "Do y'all mind sawing it about 2-foot length and stacking it up near the barn?"
Yeah.
So he basically sawed it big tree up and supplied him with firewood for the rest of the winter. And then on the way out, he says, "We just had a bumper crop of okra," which I don't like. And he was selling it for $10 a bag, which every carload felt obligated to buy from him. And on the way out, he says, "Y'all come back again, you hear?"
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh.
Yeah, we had one where they landed in a tree, and there was a family who was on vacation in Florida, and they actually rented cherry pickers, and so it literally landed in the tree right up above the cherry picker. But we didn't know it because they were on vacation until they finally came back. And that was pretty convenient.
We had one land in near Georgia in Kennesaw, and they knocked on the front door of the fellow's house. It was 60 feet up in this tree right at the edge of the street. And he says, "Well, I'm the fire chief. We're going to have a little fire
drill
exercise." Yep. So he called all the tanker. He brought the tanker up, set it in front of his house, and they got the bucket, and they went up in the tree, picked the payload out, and came back down. So that was lucky.
Hey, the fire department, let me tell you, I was lucky. I had my own personal radio shack, and my dad was the chief of the volunteer fire department for like 40 years, and my first 6-meter beam I built the fire department came over and put it up for me.
Now, I'm going to tell you two stories that might make you a little worried about your flight.
No.
I helped Joe Mindshine, WB9SBD, launch. He launched a boom from Wisconsin, and I was down in northern Illinois near Rockford, and we were monitoring it. And we had a telescope, and we could see the burst and see the payloads, everything through the telescope. You can actually see them if you're within 5 or 10 miles of it. You can actually see it as a shining star with the naked eye. But we did a little calculation from where that burst point was, and says, it's heading for a very a good area to land as far as landing something coming down from the sky, but a very bad area. And can you guess where that might be?
I'm guessing an airport.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Which airport?
Maybe O'Hara.
Landed about 10 feet from the main jet runway at O'Hara International.
Yeah.
So his chase team showed up there, talked to the security guys, got them excited. So they drive them out. It's getting towards dark now. It's dark. And they see it in the headlights on the other side of the main jet runway. Well, the security guys didn't call the tower first before crossing the runway. And as they did, they noticed the 747 landing lights just about ready to land on top of them. So they swoop over, the jet lands, they scoop up the payloads, run back to the main gate, handed it to the rest of the chase crew, and the security guy says, "We're taking a very long coffee break. I would advise you guys to head home as quick as possible."
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, well, it's definitely going to be fun. I'm looking for the excitement of trying to get there and get under it and watch it come down. I don't know if that's going to be possible. As Dave has said, I mean, it's going to come down probably. It's going to come down in trees or something. It's going to come down away. It's not going to land on the road right in front of the truck. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I'll tell you, about 30 years ago, I launched one from the DARA Club at W8BI in Dayton. And we were right on it. And no GPS then. We used DF. And the lead pickup truck, it bounced off the bed of his truck. He tried to catch it in the bed of his truck, bounced off and ended up the ditch. But that was as close as we ever came to actually catching one in a vehicle. However, there was a group in Idaho that just in the last couple of years ran out in the field and grabbed it before it hit the ground. Wow. Parachuting down from 100,000 feet. I've come within 50 feet and I tripped over a or something.
Well, look, hey, if anybody has a Discovery Channel, if you've ever watched Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates, check out Season 8, Episode 7. Season 8, Episode 7. Where he's down in the Bermuda Triangle and they're trying to solve the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. And to do that, they're in a boat, and these college kids launch a weather balloon with the payload, like we're talking about launching. And they're going to measure magnetic flux and all that stuff to see what's going on, in the Bermuda Triangle at different altitudes. Anyway, so Josh is there looking at it, and they fill that sucker up and they let it go, man. And the styrofoam box and everything, it goes up, and then the kid there on the laptop, he starts saying, it said 50,000 now, it's 60,000, and Josh is going crazy, man. And it burst any minute, and they had the speedboat they were in had four of the outboard V8 engines on it. 4 V8s on this sucker. And so this thing's starting to come down, and they're cutting across the water there at the Bermuda Triangle and actually get into the Gulf. And they actually see it coming down, and they get very close, man. I mean, it was a real exciting chase as the boat was having to turn and change directions, as it was coming down. but they got very close to it. I imagine they got within a few hundred yards of it. And then to top it all off, Josh gets to dive into the water to save it. Season 8, episode 7.
I've seen that. We did a rocket on a balloon. It was a 400-pound rocket, super large balloon. And when it came down, we thought it was going to be lost. We were on a barge 100 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing out there but a few fishing boats. And so we called it a loss because it landed about 11 miles away, and we figured we'd never find it out there in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. Well, the captain of the boat said, do you all want your experiment back? I said, what are you talking about? Well, my sister ship, part of the same company, it landed right next to their boat. They immediately pulled it in, and it's sitting on the deck of their boat. Do you want it back?
That's cool. All right, guys, who we got here? Hey, Anthony. Hello, Anthony. I see you're in there. You made it, man. How you doing tonight?
Well, Tom, thank you for allowing me to be able to get in. I'm glad to see how technology does work when it does. But,
it does.
Other than that, I'm glad to see partial of the capsule crew is still with us this evening.
All right.
You have an idea when you're all going to be setting up, launching your balloon?
I don't know. It's going to take a little time. I've got to check these 360 cameras out and figure out how they work them first. And, and we got to figure this thing out. There's a lot of figuring. Bill's going to help us figure it out. Hey, just want to tell you something, man. My son is changing apartments, and I think he's getting one that has a fence and a backyard in it and a tree. So I told him about you. You run an off-center fed dipole along your fence, and you check into the net every week.
Oh, you can pass on my email address, my phone number. I'll be more than happy to send him. I believe the friend of mine that helped me put my antenna up in my house, he gave me the details of the antenna, the parameters and how to build it and how to test it and what you need to do. I would be more than happy to share it with him.
All right. Well, hopefully he'll be able to get a little bit more antenna out there. Hey, guys, I forgot to do this. I was going to do this tonight. I was going to give away a prize tonight. I just picked this out of thin air. I was going to give away an MFJ 2-position antenna switch with lightning protection on it, but I forgot to do it, so we'll probably do it next week.
That's nice.
We'll do it next week.
I have one of those.
We'll either do that next week, or maybe I'll do the 300-watt dummy load or something. We're going to start doing some more prizes. If Katie
Tom?
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Dennis is in Las Vegas. Dennis, you're on amateur television, right?
Well, I don't have a transmitter online right now, but I've been checking in with the ATN group, which is presently going on. I've been checking in with them on their Whereby internet feed. So I do need to get
can you share in the chat? Do you know how to do the chat here of that link, the Zoom chat here? Can you send the link to that Whereby that we can listen in? They have an amateur television group in Southern California and Arizona and Nevada that is very active, real interesting to watch. The net is just phenomenal how it's run. And so they're using something called Whereby, right, Dennis?
Correct.
So if you can send that in the chat link, it is really, unfortunately, they hold at the same time as your show, Tom, but I have
my chat is disabled at this time.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it says chat disabled.
All right. I don't know what to think when other people have things that conflict with our show. I thought everybody knew not to let that happen, man. Even if they've been doing it for years, when we came on, they should.
Well, they have several nets during the week, though.
Cease.
They still have.
We have a Sunday and also a Tuesday.
Yeah. And besides, we're a multitasking society here.
Yeah.
Tom, I like that view of your shack there.
You like that view right there?
Yeah.
Well, during the show, I'm pretty
often.
busy. You know, it may look like I'm not paying attention to our guests. It's probably because I'm doing this or over here or working this right here or trying to line up, stuff. But yeah, sometimes
it's like playing a musical instrument.
Yeah, sometimes it gets busy. Yeah, sometimes it does.
Hey, Tom, I got a question to ask you.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have to rewind it and watch it from the beginning. But were you able to talk about the antenna, the tree antenna?
We did. We talked about that tonight, and I had a little video of us building the coil and everything. The results were this right here. If you look at the top two are antennas. That's an OCF antenna like you've got, and on 40 and 20, it did pretty good. If you look at the next picture down, 40 meters with the tree as antenna versus 40 meters no tree. With the tree, it had maybe 3 times the number of stations across the country. And on 20 meters, the first one is tree, and the second one is no tree. And again, with the tree, it covered nearly all the United States. Without the tree, it covered just a few spots in the southeast here. So. And then, of course, we've got pictures there of the coil. But, yeah, I mean, it wasn't scientific. I need to pull more data out. But we did kind of show that, the tree did help it a little bit.
Were you able to make any contacts
I didn't really make any contacts. I didn't have a lot of time that day. Those are just whisper reception reports.
And as we were discussing earlier, if he can find the same receive station, close in time to the tree and no tree, you can it'll quantify within a few dB of how much improvement it gave you. So
Yep. And
I have a question, Tom.
What was that?
I said I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
All right. Where you put it on the tree, okay, you got that specific result. If you raise it up maybe another 5 or 6 feet, would you have a different pattern?
Well, and that's where we would like to have a lot of staff that can help us with all that. We did not try that. We just compared it with almost equal height away from the tree versus equal height on the tree. But I'm sure it could have made some difference whether it was higher or lower. And we could have drove a ground rod in the ground and grounded that side of that tuner and coil. That would have probably made things different, of course, ground wave and stuff. So who knows? But Bill, why don't you build one and put it up there? You got trees out there, and put one out in your backyard.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, man.
Hey, when they're tapping the maple trees, just have them tap, a nice metal stake in one.
Right. Well, guys, it's 10:30.
I used to have 14. My neighbor used to tap about 20 maple trees in my backyard in New Hampshire.
It's 10:30. I need to get off here.
All right.
And chill out, maybe get a little snack, watch a little TV. Then
Tom, I like this new format. This is great.
Good.
Audience participation. I like it a lot.
Yeah. And here's my new shack.
Nice. Yeah. I don't remember seeing that when I was there.
You don't remember seeing that one? Well, watch it. Look.
Oh.
Look at that.
He brought this thing up. I was standing behind him in front of the green screen, and I'm going, wow, look at that.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not on there. Where am I? I'm disappeared.
That's your bench.
There I am. No, that's my operating. Oop.
Hey Tom, I got a suggestion for you. Being you have the snow sneeze in the back of your shack from time to time, do you have one season?
You know, I used to have one. In fact, when the weather is so severe, sometimes I'll stand up here and I'll do a weather report. You know.
Did you ever see the weather rock? It was outside of one of the National Weather Bureaus that I saw in the area.
I saw that
and
somewhere.
It had a sign that said,
yeah.
If rock is wet, it's raining. If rock is dry, it's sunny. If rock is moving, earthquake. If rock is white, it's snowing. And if rock is gone, tornado.
Yeah. Or if it's moving, wind's blowing. I've seen that somewhere. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right. Okay, guys. Well, we're going to sign off from Studio A here. We're going to sign off, guys, and say good night.
Hey, Ron, give my regards to Amy.
I sure will.
Guys,
Dave, I'd like to exchange more balloon stories with you sometime.
Okay. All right. Yeah, me too.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
7-3.
All right.
73.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
73. Good night.